another episode of Share with Charlotte podcast, where emphasis is placed on finding balance in relationships. I am the creator and host, and I want to welcome you again to another episode where we're going to speak on finding balance in relationships. And what I want to do first is to go back and reflect on the last episode, which is one more year, but who's counting? Because in that particular episode, I speak on aging. Aging is something that's very critical that a lot of people have issues accepting, have one that they can feel good about, or they get depressed about, or just go through emotional roller coaster when it comes to aging because they see more of the physical and not the bigger picture and the bigger blessing, which is time in which God has given you through His grace of giving you more time to live, to enjoy life, more time to be one of in your purpose, one to just love, or just one just to be alive. And so we look at the wrong thing and we focus on the wrong thing. And so if you have not yet watched or either listened to that particular episode, I really encourage you to do so and to share it with someone that you know is struggling with aging. And hopefully that'll be one that they can be encouraged by. And as opposed to looking at the negative, but truly looking at the positive, in which God give time and give each year as a gift and as a blessing. Okay, so on that note, let's move into the new episode, which is finding balance in relationships. And I want to share with you first, because that is the emphasis of my podcast, but share with Charlotte. And that is something God gave me, which is balance, the word balance, and also relationships. Those two key words is God given because God is so big on relationships. But that balance is what keeps you stable, keep you in a place of healthiness and what's good. It's that balance. So all of that is one that I reflect on repeatedly within my podcast on different areas because finding balance in relationship first starts with you. And the three words that come to mind as I was reviewing, things that I need to relate to you. And that is three words I sum it up as being, and that is how you love. Just that simple. How you love. How you love determines your balance in relationship. It's how you love. And first, how you love is truly how you love you. How do you love you? So my question is, how do you love you? Then my next question really is, and most people may be like, wow, why you ask that? But truly it is, if you love you, do you love you? Because believe me, everybody don't love themselves. There's a lot of people who really despise themselves, hate themselves, resent themselves because they look at other people and they judge themselves based on what other people are doing, what other people have, and what other people, how they think and how they relate to life, and or they look at their mishaps or things they don't like about themselves and they judge themselves harshly and they really don't like each other, yet alone love themselves. They don't love themselves nor like themselves. And that's a shame to be in that place, in that state of mind, and that emotional roller coaster that highs and lows with yourself, that internal battle that one would have. But how you love versus how you love you determines how you're gonna love other people and also how you're gonna love other things. Because a lot of people who put emphasis on so much stuff, so much stuff. It always got to be about so much other stuff. It's because there has to be a hole somewhere that you're trying to fill within yourself. And you think all this other stuff is going to do that for you. It's going to make you feel more worthy, more loving, uh, more where you in tune with yourself, that you appreciate yourself, that you can build yourself on things instead of what's internal. Because we look for other things that hold us up as a crutch instead of just loving ourselves unconditionally. But it's how you love, which determine finding balance in relationships. Because if you're out of sync, if you're not in balance with yourself, surely you're not in balance with other people that you're trying to have relationships with. And then I asked the question, how you love? How you love you? Then the next question was, do you even love you? Do you love you? It reminded me when you're in a relationship and you can just pick one because it applies to any relationship. But the words in which one says they love you. I love you. I love you. But you don't put anything behind it. There's no action. There's nothing to show me the love. Then it's just spoken words. Because love is an action. It's what you do. It's not just what you say. You can spew the words out, but it's what you do as opposed to more what you say. And if you say it, you need to back it up with what you do. So if you're in a relationship and these words are spewed out continuously, but that person don't put time with you, they don't give you any attention, they don't care for you, they don't nurture you, they don't try to help you in any way. They put you down, they disrespect you, they misuse you, they mistreat you, but yet I love you. And you know, everything I said described that person in that relationship that you may have who spews the words, but not the action behind it. Everything I said, you can turn it back around and point it at yourself. Because if I don't give myself the attention I need, if I misuse me, mistreat me, if I not kind to me, if I ridicule me, if I don't nurture me, I'm just saying all those things apply to yourself. So again, how do you love? And then do you love you? Because if you love you, then you're in balance. Because if you love you, that means you're doing all those things also for yourself. Do you even like your own company? Or you always need somebody around you because you don't like when you're alone? Because you being alone isn't enough for you. But see, and I can use me as an example. I'm married, 3 children. My children are grown and gone. And I have a bonus daughter. And my husband and I have a business together, even though I'm semi-retired from it. So, and when I wasn't, we spent a lot of time together. But you know, I always love my me time. I love time for myself. I love my own company. I love when I just have time by myself, for myself, with myself. That I enjoy that. I enjoy that time. So I enjoy my time. I don't look for someone to uh, validate if I'm in a good place or not. Because I first have to enjoy my own company for myself because I love me. And I can honestly say, yes, I love me. I truly love me because I take care of me. It matters to me how I feel. It matters to me whether anybody mistreat me. It matters to me if I'm going through some things. Am I going to really try to fight my way out somehow so I can be better? Do I love me enough to fight for me? Do I love me enough to where I'm also honest with myself? Do I love me enough to where I also forgive myself when I mess up? That I don't beat myself down, but I'm forgiving. Just like I forgive other people who hurt me, but I also forgive myself. But to love you is to show those things that are healthy toward yourself. Whether anybody give that to you, whether anybody choose to love you or not, do you love you? Do you love you that you try to be your best self in the time and space that you have so that you're taken care of? Or do you wait for someone to do that for you? Do you love you enough to make sure you good? Even if nobody else makes sure you good. Do you love you enough love yourself enough for that. Because you have to first know that the first place that you seek should be you first. And what you can't do, you seek elsewhere. And that's God first. Because God, I've done all I can do. I don't know no more I can do. I'm seeking you. But he also put people in place that you can trust, that you can go to, that you know is going to be honest and truthful, that you know is going to have your best interest at heart, the one that you wholeheartedly trust. Those people, if you're blessed enough to have those people. But first and foremost, what you have is yourself. And to love you is also to trust you, is to trust you. But if you judge yourself as being inadequate, calling yourself as if you don't measure up, then you would never trust you. Because you've already judging yourself to be less. So you're not going to trust yourself to make good sound judgment. You've already defeated yourself even before you even try it. You're already in a state of defeat. But to love yourself is to build yourself, to find that balance to where you are placing yourself in a position where you want to be able to stand in something, not laid out in something, but to love you, to pour that in you that says, how long is enough until I'm not? And that's only because I'm going to try first for me to be enough. And when I'm not enough, I see God. So to love you, again, do you love you? Do you take care of you? Do you take care of your health? Do you get the rest that you need? Are you in line with God in your relationship? Because all that is balance. Are you in line with the relationship that on a spiritual that keeps you grounded and rooted? That know that you're never all by yourself in that regard because God is forever and always with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. He is with you. But he pours so much in you. He poured enough in you to where you can be enough until you're not. And so I want to press that upon you. And the reason, again, with this finding balance in relationships is because you have to learn truly how to find that balance in you first. And that is truly how you love you. I want you to start if you have not yet. But I want you to ask that question. Do you love you? Not just the word, but I want you to the level of saying, then if I love me, then how do I show that love toward myself? How do I do that? Am I doing it? So if you're not doing it, then you should start doing it. And then if I do resent myself some, and I'm not in a loving place with myself, then what is it that's keeping me from really loving, truly loving myself? I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So I don't expect perfection in me. I got flaws, mistakes. I'm going to keep making them because I'm human. I'm born of a sinful nature. I live in a sinful nature and I would die in one. That means I'm going to do wrong. I'm going to mess up. That means I have to be in a place of always being in a place forgiving and asking for forgiveness because I'm going to mess up. I'm not going to beat myself down. Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going to get back up and say, well, I've learned something from that. It's what you learn from growth. from the mistakes you make. You don't stay there and just ridicule yourself, degrade yourself. You ever done what you did? You could have done it better, but you did. You're human. You make mistakes. Choke it up as life. Deal with it and move beyond it. But don't label yourself as being that person. That person just was in a place where now they've grown and should be better because of it, not ridicule. The worst person that can beat themselves down is yourself. It's enough that the world beat you down. It's enough that the people may have things to say about you. But when you have things that you say are disheartening to yourself, that's worse. But you get away from the people. You can move around, but you can't lose yourself. So finding balance in relationships is first and foremost, is finding balance in you. You have to be in balance. If you're going to be in balance in your marriage, whether you want to be a parent, whether you want to be your relationship with your family, your job, your co-workers, out in the community, any place and anywhere, you can be chaotic because there's a storm that's brewing within you, and all you do is just spread it out to everybody else. And you have to recognize where your flaws are. It's all part of finding balance and how you love you. And that's one of loving you enough to define it, call it out. It's just like if you're in a relationship and you see somebody just doing wrong, you can either be quiet about it or should you speak up and say something because you love them enough to tell them about themselves. Well, love you enough to tell you about yourself, that you can be better, that that wasn't right, what I just did. I just created that whole mess. Instead of you blaming somebody when truly it was yourself, then look at yourself and be one of acceptance of what that is and taking ownership of it. Because if you don't do that, then you don't grow. And if you don't do that, then you're not loving you. Because all that is part of love. Love is something you have and should have unconditionally. To love yourself unconditionally. That means you accept every part of you. Every part of you. You accept every part of you. Not just the good stuff you can boast about or feel good about. Every aspect of you is what you look at. So how do you love? How truly you love you? How do you? And how you show that love toward yourself? Because if you allow people to take so much from you that you have very little for yourself, that's not loving you. And if you're so in a state of obsession with yourself, that's not love either. It's obsession with yourself. That you can't see nothing but yourself. It's love. Love the balance. Love, again, is a balance. That's how you love yourself. Because you create a balance with you, for all the things that you have in life. And all of that you have is in you. And it's how you balance all those things in life. So all of that has a lot of arms, a lot of things that's affected by whether or not you have balance. And keep in mind, finding balance meaning you're always in motion, Like you always find it, because anything can throw you off balance. There could be something that can throw you off, and you look at yourself and it's like you're in a state of wall of what you just allowed to happen. Because now you find that balance being shaky. So what you have to do is constantly in a state of finding balance in how you love you through your turmoil, through your trials, through your tribulations. How you love you, how you still love you and stay in balance with yourself. How you do that. And it is not easy. And I'm not saying it is, because it really is not easy. Because it's a constant thing that you're always doing. Trying to find that balance in yourself. Because anything can throw you off. But first and foremost, is when you on those shaky grounds and things have just taken you through a loop and you just like, wow, you're in a state of wow. Can you revamp? Can you find your way back to balance? Because some people can and some people can't. And those are real tests. And you finding balance in how you love you. Because the core of it all comes back to that one word, and that's love. It comes back to love you. And we want to stay in a constant state of love, first and foremost for ourselves. And then we want to show everybody the love we have for us. We want to share that same love to other people. Because if you truly love yourself unconditionally, then it teaches you how to love other people unconditionally. If you accept yourself with your flaws, then it also helps you accept other people with theirs. If you look for yourself to always do right and not expect yourself to mess up, then you know what? You take that same attitude and you take it to other people. So when they mess up, you real hard on them. You crush them because you do it to yourself. But when you have a forgiving spirit, you exercise that to all other people. And I'm just so thankful. I'm truly thankful that you love me. I'm thankful for that because I've seen people who don't love themselves. And you can see, you can spot times, and you can just tell sometimes when people don't because of how they treat themselves, that they don't love themselves. If people always coming at you negative, and I know you know somebody, you never have a good day. Or if you say anything, it's got to be a negative remark, a negative response. That they kill your own spirit just being around them. You can just start out good. And by the time it's over in a conversation, they're wearing you down. And it's not a one time, it's who they are. People like that can't possibly love themselves. But what you hope you can do is show them what love look like when you do. And hope that it may rub off somehow on them. Because people who complain always in a bad space all the time. Think about it. That means they can never get away from what they feel because they carry themselves with it everywhere they go. So that means they're constantly feeding themselves the same stuff, constantly being fed negative. whether it's about them or whether it's about somebody else or whether it's about something, but it's in a constant state of just negativity all the time. That's not love. So how you love determines your balance. How you love. Or you loving. Because you loving to yourself, you loving to other people. If you're one who's self-serving, that means you've also learned how to serve yourself. If you one who's of a selfish nature, you hoard everything, then you're gonna be selfish to the other people. Because you're a hoarder. You hoard everything. What you project on yourself is what you project outwardly to other people. How you groom yourself. And I mean groom yourself in the sense of what you pour in you is what you're going to spew out. So finding balance in relationship is that balance in you. It's not about the words spoken. It's the action behind what you do to love you so that you would know how to love other people. You'll want to love other people. You'll be encouraged to love other people. You have the heart to love other people because to serve and to give and to love also brings you joy. That's a feeding for you. Those are all part of that nurturing side of you. Because to give, to serve, is all a part of nurturing. So as you give and serving other people, you're also nurturing yourself. Because those are feel-good moments that you give yourself. But to give yourself those nurturing moments, you have to give of yourself. And then it's given back to you. And all those things are important. But again, let me emphasize again, your relationship with God. Being more like Christ, one of serving, one of love, one of forgiveness. Just you want to be that in alignment with the relationship because that keeps you in balance. But it also teaches you how to love you, how to accept you. Because God accepts us with all our flaws and differences and weaknesses and our strength and all of that. He wants you to do the same for yourself. Love you as I love you. So you can go now and love other people like I love you. Let me say that again. God wants you to love you as He loves you. So that you can now love other people as He loves you. And you love Him. It's all intertwined. It's all interconnected. But that relationship is a must. There's needs and there's wants. There's a need. There's a need for the intimacy of the relationship with Him. And all that create that balance in you. Because it teaches you so much to how to love. How to love. And let me read something to you. Because I'm always trying to do a little research. And I want to just share this. And I got this from the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, which I thought was interesting. Because brain and behavior, because a lot of the stuff that our behavior triggered the mind. Um, And these are some of the things that was pointed out to me about self-love. That's really what we're speaking of. Find that balance, and it's also how you love yourself. And it says this that I want to read, and it's just a few of them. It says self-love is when you put yourself before others, but it's never selfish. It's essential. And what it means by that is put yourself before others just only means if you know you get into a place where it's just too much. It's not just something now you just think about doing. It's essential that you pull back because now it's affecting you. And that's loving yourself enough to do that without feeling guilty or you being one of a selfish nature because it's not. It's one of pure healthiness for you that there's a need for it. It's when you accept yourself, and we talked about that, flaws and all, everything. You're understanding towards yourself. You're compassionate towards yourself. Give yourself some grace. Be compassionate towards yourself. Feel what you feel. Own it. You don't have to explain it away because if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. And just like if somebody came to you and this is what they felt, you don't put them down for feeling that way. That's really how they feel. Well, that's how you feel. You should own it. You don't criticize yourself. The thought in your head aren't negative. So don't put those thoughts in your head again. That's negative. And you carrying it around with you all the time. Don't do that. That's negative stuff. And that's not how you love. If just you with somebody, you don't want to just beat them down with negative stuff. It's not how you love on somebody. Well, don't treat yourself any different than that. Love yourself like you want to love somebody else. Or you should love somebody else. You don't beat them down with all negative stuff. You build people up just like you need to build you up. It's when you respect yourself. So you never put yourself through anything that could be harmful for you emotionally or physically. Respect yourself enough to walk away from something. Respect yourself enough to know not to get into something that you have no business getting into. Respect yourself enough to say no, even if it's peer pressure, whatever it is, because you have to first respect you. And that's something I wouldn't do. You might would do that, but I wouldn't do that because I have more respect for myself. It means you can say no. You love yourself enough to say no to others because you don't owe them for you to be miserable. You don't owe no one that to be miserable. And if you have a need to say no, I mean a need, not just because you want to. There's a need to say no. There's two different things. Then you say no. You don't owe nobody your state to be miserable. You forgive others, not just because they need it, but because you need it too. Forgiveness, they always say, is not for just the other person. Forgiveness first is for you. But if you don't forgive, you're carrying it around. And that's baggage. That's not how you love you by carrying baggage around. That is not how you love you. You shed baggage. You don't load baggage up and carry it, but you shed it. You don't tolerate BS. If you don't like something, you walk away from it because you won't let other people BS affect you. You don't have to take crap. You know it's crap. You don't have to stay in it. You can walk away from it. And you know when it's crap. You know that. If you make a mistake, you forgive yourself, just like you would anybody else. And I spoke about that. We're born of sin, live of sin, and we'll die of sin. I mean, we have a sinful nature. You will never get it right all the time. Never. I don't care how you try. You'll never be perfect. So forgive yourself when you're not. Forgive yourself and let it go. You wouldn't be in a relationship with someone because you feel like you need them. I'm big on this. But rather because you want them. Need is such a, oof. Need is one of those words. I don't, I'm sorry. The only thing I need God. I need water. I need air to breathe. need a place to stay. Those are need. So there's a true need for it, but the want. But if you get in a place of neediness in a relationship, be careful. And I'm just going to say that. Just be careful, because that neediness can really be detrimental. Your significant other doesn't complete you. I love this one, because you are already complete within. He or she just compliments you. You hear that cliche all the time. You complete me. You complete me. Meaning you weren't complete before that. So what happens if he leaves you? You're not incomplete. Be careful with that kind of stuff, because if he completes you or she completes you, there's no promise they're gonna be with you. So now you now incomplete. Be complete within yourself. And what they do when they come along is compliment what you already have within you. But I'm like broken. It's like you coming to someone broken. And now they're that one missing piece, because I'm so broken. I was broken to you, came and put that one piece in me and put that together. That's not good. I like the fact when it says I'm already complete within myself, but you compliment me, basically where I am. And I love that. So maybe some of you out there need to feel that that person completes you, but that's that's something that, again, you have to be real careful about, simply because that life isn't promised and that relationship isn't promised. And you have a really hard time if you was broken when they met you, and now you're more broken because they left you, because you now know what that felt like, if you felt was a completeness of yourself. And so that truly is not good. And if that happens, that will be rough time to go through for sure. And you're gonna need some real help for that. Counseling, therapy, friend, and hopefully nothing drastic help. But that neediness, I'm telling you, is something you have to really, 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 really be careful of. A state of neediness and not just wanting to be in a place. You don't depend on anyone, because you are your own best friend. And that's, again, what I emphasized before. First person you should turn to first is yourself. And what you can't do, you turn to God. And God open doors and opportunities, or he bring in other people, or he creates avenues or opportunities that get you out of things or through things, because God does that. You're always in the process of becoming a better person in every way, especially your character. And as your character is everything, is truly what defines you as a person. Your character. You're always learning new things about yourself and improving on those things while embracing yourself. New things gonna pop up, but at the same time, you're always still embracing the person that you already are. And then you're growing into the newness of the new things that you're learning along the way. That's love. Love is growth, not being stagnated in a place, and not just like you have somebody that you don't feed. Well, it's going to deteriorate and die eventually if you don't feed it. So you're feeding growth. You're feeding the new things in you, so you will grow. That's love. That's loving on yourself. All that part of balance. You're happy when you're alone, and I spoke of that. You're happy when you're alone because you got to learn to love some me time. Time with yourself. It's time to really learn and love on yourself, because nobody else gets in the way. That's the time you pamper yourself. You talk to yourself. You be with yourself, or whatever you choose to do with yourself. Because there's no distraction unless you choose it. But when you're with somebody, it's always never just about you. It's also about the other person. And when you with yourself, you can be selfish because it's just you. Because you just kind of love on you by yourself, for yourself, and with yourself. And it's a beautiful thing. But all of that and more is finding balance in relationship. And God is just so big on that. So if you in your best place with yourself, just think if everybody was in their best place with themselves, loving on themselves, what a wonderful world this would be. But that's not the case. So I want to leave this with you again, even though it sounds simple, but it's how do you love? But really, how do you love you? And then the second thing is, do you love you? Do you love you? It's not just words spoken or thought. Do you really love you? Do you really love you? Well, I want to leave that with you. I hope it was food for thought. I hope it's something that you can take to you and be encouraged with, something insightful. Hope you share it because there's a lot of people out there bitter, don't love themselves. But I encourage you. I know it sounds simple. I know some of you think you do. But I want you to look at the totality. I mean, every aspect of your life, and there's a lot of arms to this. A lot. But look at all aspects of your life. And you determine really finding balance in relationship. It start with how you find balance in yourself. And are you really truly loving yourself? Because if you're not, and there's places that are out of sync and balance. And I know it's always going to be a constant process with you, just like it is with me. I'm always seeking, always on a daily, trying to be my better self, my best self in my place and time and what God gives me. Because I'm always trying to find balance. I mean, I'm always in motion on a daily. And I encourage you to be the same. There are gonna be hiccups along the way. There are gonna be hit and misses. But you're always trying to find your step, get back in step of finding balance. Thank you again for listening to and watching. If you are watching this particular episode, finding balance in relationship, that truly it starts with yourself. And I hope truly again that you're encouraged by the words that that was noted to me because I look for God to give me what to say. So I hope you connected. I hope you found it to be something meaningful for you. That could be a good takeaway, a tool. I call it tips and tools that can be used. But I just thank you for being part of my podcast community. And thank you again. And I look forward to the next episode of Share with Charlotte. And I won't go into what the next one is. And I just want you to be encouraged and be blessed. Go to my YouTube to watch, Facebook. Our website is www.sharewithcharlotte.com. And I look forward to sharing with you my next episode. Thank you so much.